Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. It is Sunday, it's episode 23. I am the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the one man no Twitter fan, Kinny Killa. And you know I'm always kicking it with the hashtag tech guy. The hashtag tech guy. That's right, people say it again, the hashtag tech guy. The gal them sugar, Sugs.
Yo.
What's happening, brother?
You know, little hungover, but I'm here.
Putting in the work, putting in the time. I like to see that. As you know, it's been the third week. Don't know where E2J is. The guy's gone AWOL, absent without leave. I don't know what's happening. I watched Now You See Me last night. The guy's coming on like a magician. He's just disappearing. Don't know where the guy is. So, you know, we do what we gotta do. We gotta carry on with the show and make sure we give our listeners, the show. Make sure they can listen every week. So you had a good weekend then, Shugs?
Yeah, man. Back to work tomorrow though. That's all I can think about, man.
Oh my God! Back into the crazy place, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like six weeks off. Maybe it's too much, man. Because when you go back, you just feel
deflated.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Deflated ain't the word.
Whoa, tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays.
Well, we got Liverpool versus United to look forward to.
I know. And Wayne Rooney's cut his head open, so they don't know if he's playing.
Man bust his head. He tried to leave the training ground. David Moyes was like, listen, this shit ain't going down. We've had this argument before. I'm just going to take this boot and dash it in your ass. Simple as.
You went Phil Mitchell on him.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, guys, I just want to, give a little shout out to a couple Twitter followers that have, just now joined the Sunday Segue army. So just give a little shout out to Mr. Omar Mohammed. Give a shout out to Danger Rich, who's the co-host of the One Nation Radio Wrestling podcast. Just big up them too. Also want to big up Scotty Campbell. Scotty Campbell is the guy that came out on Raw with tons of funk. He won the right to come out on Raw. And this guy, brace yourselves because we're going to be interviewing Scotty Campbell. He's, giving us the opportunity to interview him. So that interview will be coming to you guys soon. So, as always, people, follow us on Twitter. That's at Sunday Segue. Segue spelled SEGUE. Follow our blog. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch our old episodes on YouTube. Guys, email us at sundaysegue at gmail.com. Please email us your thoughts on Raw, and we'll read out your emails on the show. Also, download that Double Twist player. Make sure you get that on your mobile phones, people, because it's the one. Right, so, as always, we're going to go into the deadly dirt sheet.
The Dirt Sheet!
Shugs, Ted DiBiase Jr. has quit WWE. Ted DiBiase Jr. has come out and said that he is not going to sign another contract when his contract expires. So what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, it's like, it takes him coming out to say he's not going to retire or he's not going to renew his contract for you to remember he was actually in the WWE. I don't think anyone's like spent 5 minutes worrying about where Ted DiBiase was or when's he getting his push or where is he. So I think he was just like a forgotten man of WWE.
Do you think he could have been something though?
I think it's hard. Like I think if you were gonna get over, you would get over. Mm-hmm. I think there's plenty of people like you always like, oh, this guy could have made it, that guy could have made it, but if you're gonna get there, you're gonna get there, Yeah. People like, if you look at like John Cena, like, before he came in and he was just like vanilla, he was in the middle of the card. He had like no type of angle, no type of character. And then, he went with like the rap gimmick. And then, he didn't look back from there. And I think the people make their own way. Austin made his own way. Punk made their own way. Cody Rhodes is still there. Randy Orton, you make your own way, and I just don't think he did enough.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, you look who he had Maurice with him at one point. He had the $1 million belt at one point. He was in Legacy. He had things that he could have,
The DiBiase posse.
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, he had things he could have run with. More or less, he could have run with the $1 million belt, but he just didn't. I mean, he just didn't have that thing. He didn't have his daddy's, his daddy's charisma. Like,
They put him in a movie, mate. Come on, they put this guy in a movie.
yeah, they don't waste their money.
Exactly. So how many opportunities can you have?
True. Put Wade Barrett with the $1 million belt, and we would have probably had a different story.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, second piece of news is Kassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero, has got heat backstage. Now, the word on the street is Kassius Ohno hasn't been on NXT for weeks. Now, WWE have told him on numerous occasions that he has to fix up his body. His body's not in the right condition. He needs to be put on a training schedule, and they gave him one, and he hasn't been adhering to it. So they said, go away. We're taking you off TV. You need to sort yourself out. And I think they're saying this because they want to bring him up to the roster, I think. But they're not going to bring him up to the roster, with free tires. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this, man? Because I know, you watch NXT every now and again, and I know that you haven't seen him either. And I know you rate Ohno. So yeah, what's your thoughts on this, Jugs?
Well, obviously, he had these matches when he was it Chris Hero, when he had all these matches with CM Punk in Ring of Honor. So he's got a good track record. Everyone knows he's a good wrestler. But WWE is like a spectacle, a sports entertainment. So you've got to be in the right shape to be on TV. Unless you're like Brodus Clay or you're Tensai and you're like a big dude, you've got to be in a certain type of shape. And obviously, if he's not in the right shape, then he can be on TV.
Yeah, you said it. You said it best.
Like sometimes they want people to get bigger, or they might want people to put on more mass, or they might want them to work out. Daniel Bryan is in good shape. He's not ripped, but he's in good shape.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to be. You've got to find the medium.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna be like Randy Orton, who looks like they're just chiseled, but you've got to find a medium somewhere.
I mean, Kassius Ohno, wicked wrestler. He's got all the attributes, the promo work, the ring work, but he just needs to sort out his thing, and I hope for his sake he does, because this guy can get over in the right gimmick, in the right role. So, Kassius, do what you got to do, man, please. Because if you don't,
in too much of William Regal, that he's gone for the William Regal look.
Yeah, that's not a good look. He's a man's man. But yeah, Kassius, man, bruv, if you don't do this, your ass is gonna get sacked. So do what you gotta do, fam. All right. So the last news piece is that WWE are in talks with Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan's recently been released from TNA. He's a big dude. Last time he came into WWE, he was super green. He's gone away, done his stuff, got the carbon footprint and all that shit, and now he's a free agent. So I mean, have you seen much of Matt Morgan in TNA shows?
I've never watched 1 minute of TNA.
Okay, we don't usually mention the total non-stop ass shit, but in this case, Matt Morgan, big dude. Obviously, you know what he looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think he can make an impact coming in?
I think with TNA and the talent that they've got, I just think that the WWE can afford to pick and choose, especially with the roster they have on NXT and the people they have coming up. There's loads of wrestlers on NXT who could come up to the main roster. So, they're always, with this like new developmental thing, people are having trials left, right, and center, and every week. So, I just think it's whether they can see somewhere on the card where they can put him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the end of the news. What I do want to do is kind of segue right into talking quickly about the Development Performance Center, because WWE have just gotten a new batch of people, which includes Sami Callihan, the indie wrestler, and Samurai Del Sol, also the Mexican luchador wrestler. They've got a load of new female wrestlers in as well. They've just given them names, and the future is looking bright, isn't it, Shugs? Because it's just, I mean, all these people that they're bringing in, they're known indie talents, and they can wrestle already. So they're not green, The future is bright, isn't it?
I think so. I think they've gone about things the right way. Like, this is the way it should have been, like, a long time ago, They're getting in people, people who have, like, dropped out of the NFL and different things like that. So I think they got different people, and they were saying that one of the wrestlers actually chose to go to the developmental rather than sign for one of the NFL teams. You know, so people are seeing it as like a career choice, you know, to go and be a wrestler. And with the developmental center, it's more serious, you know, so it's like a serious profession. But hopefully it won't be like, you know, where they're producing robots where they're all coming up the same, you know. Obviously when you come from the indies, you go and you like, obviously like you said about Matt Morgan and a bit with like Davey Boy Smith Jr., like you have to go somewhere and then come back to be your own person. Whereas like if they're in that system, they might produce, you know, I don't want them to produce loads more John Cena's and Sheamus's, you know. I want more CM Punk's, more Daniel Bryan's, more Dean Ambrose, you know. But will they produce those with this system?
Like you want people to be standing out, you know. You want people to have their own gimmick, be something different from the rest, you know. So I'm very happy. I mean, all I'm gonna say is look out for this new Irish talent. His ring name now is called Luther Ward. Okay, go onto NXT roster. Look at this guy. He looks crazy. He looks like he could be something. Whether he can be is different. Samurai Del Sol, his ring name in WWE will be called Kalisto. And also Sami Callihan's new WWE name is called Solomon Crow. So watch out for these guys. They should be making their way onto NXT soon. They've already done some live events because obviously they can already wrestle. So, you know, let's just see what happens. Right, so let's go into Raw, people. This Raw, I felt had a nice little old school feel to it again this week. So let's just kick it up. Segment 1, which was Triple H, Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan. So did you like the start of Raw with Triple H's promo? Obviously Triple H came in and done some nice little, you know, singing there.
Yeah, I thought the singing was great. Like, you know, it's just like Triple H. I thought he was like, you know, I thought it was a good promo. Normally, you know, we get too much Triple H time, but then, you know, I thought he delivered his lines well, and the singing was just like great. When he was calling Daniel Bryan Jiminy Cricket.
Oh my god! It just started making me think of like Pinocchio and shit. Oh my god, Jiminy Cricket of all the things. But yeah, it worked well. How's Bryan doing on the mic and his food?
Yeah, I think he's doing well. You know, up on the Titantron, like obviously, and different things, and every time he's coming across, like we said last week, less of the shouting and more of just delivering the good ride, you know, the good lines and the different things, like, you know, a bit of comedy as well in there. When he's like, yo, Randy, that's a sweet ride, you know?
You're so pretty, Randy.
Yeah,
You're so pretty.
Yeah, and, you know, and he said about Triple H's big nose and different things. So I think he's, like, mixing it up, and he's doing a bit of comedy, and I think he's doing much better than he's been doing. I think he's growing into the role, like, you know?
Well, I mean, when you look at this now, the way this feud is going, we're looking like we're going to get Randy Orton and Bryan real quick, but it looks like it's going to be a chain of matches throughout, you know, the next couple months, with a lead to Daniel Bryan eventually picking it up maybe around, you know, Royal Rumble or something. But do you think it's too early? Do you think he should have maybe gone through Triple H first before he got to Randy?
Well, I think depending on how long they're going to do, they're going to have to put more obstacles in his way. But then, obviously, yeah, the same issue, like I was reading, they were saying the Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan thing could just go through to, like, October, which is, like, shorter than you would imagine, you know, and maybe end at Hell in a Cell. So, you know, I just don't know, if he's not in the title picture, I don't know who would be, but then I just think that going straight into this match and Night of Champions may be a bit soon. But then maybe he needs to get screwed, or it needs to make it look like it's going to be impossible for him to win. So maybe he'll have the match with Randy Orton, and then maybe he'll fight Triple H at the next pay-per-view, or maybe, you know, they're going to put the Shield in again, because obviously I don't think Triple H is going to wrestle him at like Battleground, because that's like a nothing pay-per-view.
Yeah, maybe Survivor Series or something.
Yeah, maybe Survivor Series.
And if he beats Triple H, he gets a title shot or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a long underdog kind of run, maybe, and I think we just got to sit and wait patiently and see what happens. Did you have anything else on your notes?
Nah, just a wish upon a star. It's so good.
Oh my God, so good. Hopefully, I think that tune will be playing right now.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go into segment 2, which is Fandango. Versus Cody Rhodes. Ballback comes out as normal with Rosa Mendez. I mean, did you find this funny at all?
No. It's just, I don't know, like, I like Fandango, but I just hate Miz. So if these two are going to feud, maybe Fandango will keep it entertaining. But then it seems like Miz is in a program with, like, Big Show and Ziggler as, like, fighting against the corporate structure, like, so I don't know where this match is going to go either.
Man, Bun, you don't want Miz on your side. He's a pum. You don't want our favorite Ballback on your side. Fuck. But yeah, this led on to segment 3, which went, Miz came out dressed as Fandango, looking like a pum, trying to dance. You can't dance. Rosa Mendez can't dance.
Rosa don't need to dance. She just needs to, like, stand there and just look peng.
So this led to Miz and Rhodes versus Sandow and Fandango. Was this match any better than the singles match?
Well, no. It's just like, it's just your standard clusterfuck, and we're going to have a tag team match player. But, instead of Teddy Long, it was Maddox coming out and making the match. But, it was no improvement on the original match.
Oh, I mean, where is the Ballback going? After SummerSlam, he was a SummerSlam host. Where's the Ballback going?
Well, yeah, at the moment, he's been placed into the angle where he's one of the main 3 that are supporting Daniel Bryan or are standing up against, the corporate structure. So, I think that's where he's going to be put. I don't know why, but that's where he's going to be put.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go into segment 4, which was CM Punk versus Curtis Axel. If Punk wins, he gets 5 minutes with Heyman. That was the stipulation. What did you think of this match?
I just think that, like, Axel's just so bad. I think the more they put him on TV, the worse he looks. He didn't look too bad before, but the more they actually put him in, it's just like, this guy, like, especially when he talks, it's just terrible, And I don't think he wrestles too bad, but then anytime he's wrestling like CM Punk, you just don't think that Axel's going to win. They don't suspend your disbelief. You just think the Punk is always going to win when he's fighting Curtis Axel.
Standard. There's no other thought about it. There's no way in my thought process do I think Curtis Axel's going to win. He doesn't even win with a clusterfuck. Nothing. But obviously Curtis Axel's getting lost in this storyline, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's just filler, but, like, no one cares.
Did the beat... Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, obviously Brock's not on TV, and there's no more Paul Heyman guys, so he's there because he's the only Paul Heyman guy, but it's just like, he's nothing. There's no threat from Curtis Axel.
Well, I'll ask you about, Paul Heyman guys a bit later, but, did the beatdown kind of add more longevity to the storyline?
Yeah, I think it was a good beatdown. But, because Punk just, like, they weren't holding back, Yeah, and they like, proper bust him up.
Yeah, man, you see the welts on his back.
Yeah, and the kendo stick was just, like, smashed to bits, So it was but that's what you expect from Punk, like, do you know what I mean? He don't fuck about.
Nah, but the thing is, Heyman came out strong in this, not Axel.
Because Heyman's the best person in the angle, Him and CM Punk are, like, the best 2 talkers on the show, and they're involved in an angle, So the talking's always going to be the best. And when he was crying and he was like, he had the red eyes and everything, it's amazing. It's like someone just got an onion and just put it straight in his face.
we'll go into that bit a bit later, but we'll just kind of transgress on to segment 5, which was Natalya versus Brie, the piss break. Did you see Eva Marie getting dragged up by Naomi?
No, this is the thing. I don't actually watch the matches. That's, you know, they just do nothing for me, like, you know.
I know, but I like to watch it because there's some funny things always happen, whether it's like someone saying something funny or, you know, something like church or, you know what I mean? Like,
girl bye.
Something funny, just girl bye, like just something joke. But Eva Marie was getting dragged up by Naomi on the floor. Then all of a sudden, Brie wins and Eva Marie just gets up and is like, yay! You know, it was shocking. But
she is the worst. She is the absolute worst.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But she got a massive pop when she came out, though.
Well,
like,
she came in with the Bellas.
Yeah, but when she was the last one to come out, and that's when the pop happened.
Nah, man.
Okay, watch it back. Watch it back, player.
I ain't watching this back.
Well, that segued onto segment 6, which, well, what can I say? The AJ Pipebomb.
OMG, you guys. I just watched last night's episode of Total Divas.
Come on, man. Like, what? Did you see this coming?
No, I don't think anyone saw it coming. That's why it was so good. But obviously, it's something that's going to lead into, like, season 2 or the second half of season 1 of, like, Total Divas. But, you know, it was just like, the good thing about it was all true, you know? Maybe they just give it a mic and just said, go and say everything you think about the divas, or being a diva, like, you know?
All truth, no lies.
No lies, mate. And when she was just like, yeah, and the other two, like, they didn't even get called out. That's like, you know, Eva Marie and JoJo, yeah, just the other two.
That's it, straight, calling you out, you're novices.
But they were so bad that it's the fucking Bellas, mate. Like, what? Why are they just screaming and shouting through the whole thing?
I don't know. I just wanted them to shut up. What were the key points did you feel from this, though, from the promo? Like, what was the key points coming out of this?
Well, just the, like, you know, that she's a wrestler. Like, she worked hard because she wanted to be in the WWE and a wrestler. And they're just, like, paint by numbers, isn't they? They're just, like, some girl, you know, who's a model, and they're interchangeable. And she's right, they are interchangeable. And, wow. You know, it could be any one of them, and, you know, they're just there to look good, and she's there because she wants to be a wrestler. And they couldn't lace her Chuck Taylors.
The Chuck Taylors, I was marking out when she said Chuck Taylors.
This championship, and no matter how many red carpets you guys want to walk in your $4,000 ridiculous heels, you will never be able to lace up my Chuck Taylors.
But guys, we have breaking news from the deadly Dirtsheet. So a report, apparently AJ Lee is to drop the WWE Divas title. So let me just read this out. This comes from the Wrestling Observer. So there's reportedly been backstage discussion in WWE to have AJ drop the Divas title to a cast member of the Total Divas after her scathing promo. The reason behind this change is to use it for the final episode of the season. WWE reportedly believe this would be a good draw for viewers for the next season of the show. So, what's Shugs? Come on, man, like, who to give it to? Who to give it to?
Total Divas, mate. This is what I mean. It was a good promo because it was good in the wrestling sense. It made sense for Monday Night Raw. I don't want Total Divas changing the storylines for Raw. It should be the other way around. What happens on Total Divas should be a result of the wrestling and the stories and the angles from Monday Night Raw. But they shouldn't be changing the angles on Raw because of Total Wrestling. They're building the show the wrong way around.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously these plans can change, but it don't look like it because we know what WWE is like when it comes to, you know, mainstream TV. Who does she drop it to? Because
she can only drop it to Naomi or Natalya because they're the only two that can wrestle.
I personally would want it to go to Naomi because she hasn't been focused upon a lot, even though she's a really good wrestler. But we all know it's probably going to go to Natalya, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I'll be happy with that too, because I like to see a sharpshooter, especially when it's on AJ that look like she'll get bent up like a pretzel. But yeah, you're completely 100% right in terms of, this Total Divas, and I like Total Divas, but I don't want it to mess with the storylines in wrestling. Total Divas is apparently meant to be real, and we all know wrestling's kayfabe, but still, that's what we enjoy about it. Okay, well, let's just get away from this and go on to segment 7, which was RVD versus Alberto Del Rio. Are these matches getting stupid? Because obviously we've seen them already on TV.
Yeah, like, it seems to be with, like, the World Heavyweight title, the booking is just, like, I don't know, I think, like, Hornswoggle is to booking the world title because it's just completely irrelevant. If you look at the storylines, we've got the Daniel Bryan is, like, the main storyline on Raw, the world's, the WWE title, then you've got CM Punk, and then below that, there's nothing. No actual proper feuds or no actual storylines. The Intercontinental title is doing nothing. The tag team titles are not really doing anything because Mark Henry and Big Show are not really pursuing the Shield. Dean Ambrose doing nothing. So all these titles, we're going into Night of Champions, and all these titles are just doing nothing. Ambrose haven't got a match at Night of Champions, and that's in 2 weeks. The Intercontinental title is not being defended, although it's Night of Champions. And then, we've got this, so they've just made this match. Del Rio's just doing nothing. Who is he feuding with, Rob Van Dam or Ricardo?
Or Christian. Like, you could say that for all of them, really.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's been happening for the last how long? They just been quickly, doing feuds, quick feuds. No, like, all right, for instance, right? Obviously, we listen to the Law Radio. They were recently doing Review Away. They were doing SummerSlam 2002, which had the comeback, of Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, all right, in a non-sanctioned match. Also, it was Brock Lesnar against The Rock in the main event. Both of those matches, the feud was started a month before. It was a month-long feud. A month, 6 weeks. And we was invested. Raw, SmackDown. Obviously, SmackDown, them times, things were a lot better. SmackDown was a lot better, but we were invested in that. And now we're just getting some quick 2 weeks something. I beat you on Raw, so now I deserve a title shot. That's just not enough to draw in people to make people kind of want to watch it. I mean, look at this, right? These are what is being rumored for the matches for Night of Champions, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, we obviously got Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. We got Rob Van Dam versus Del Rio, okay? Now we're saying, Big Show and Mark Henry versus Roman Reigns and the Shield. CM Punk versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title. Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose for the US title. One of the Total Divas versus AJ for the Divas title. And the Usos versus the Wyatt family. Where in which point is these things going to pick up? Obviously, we know CM Punk and Axel. We know about Big Show, Mark Henry, Ziggler, and Ambrose. Where is that coming from? Like,
I don't think it's going to happen.
It's just, they just don't know what they're doing. As usual. Prove me wrong, WWE. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Night of Champions, even if the feuds go nowhere, they should be built around the titles.
And then bring Ricardo into this now. What is going on? What ideas do you...
What about his t-shirt?
Oh my god. What do you think Ricardo should be doing? What could he be doing instead of being with Del Rio and instead of being with RVD? What would work for him, do you reckon?
I think they should have brought him back as like El Local, and he should have, just come in and started causing problems for Del Rio,
And then it turned out to be Ricardo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a few weeks coming in as like the masked lucha and just like causing him, shooting promos in Spanish and causing him problems in whoever he's feud with. So fine if he's feuding with RVD, but then causing problems, not just be like some little Eddie Munster lookalike, just doing nothing.
Well, you heard that, WWE creative. Listen to Shugs. He gave you a wicked storyline right there, so you better take it. Or
Maybe should have just dressed up as Eddie Munster and then just come out with like a little cape and just been scaring everyone.
I wouldn't put WWE. Yeah, I wouldn't put that past WWE to do that at all. I mean, bloody Pee Wee Herman was on Raw. Jeez. Enough said. All right, let's go on to segment 8. Ryback Backstage.
Amazing.
Well, talk me through it, man.
The big guy.
The big guy.
He's
the
just
big guy.
The big guy.
He's just so good. Like, I think this just is perfect. This is what Ryback should be, like, forever. The big guy.
This is his role.
This is his role. This is probably what he's like, because it's too close, or he does it too well, you know, for anything, you know. He used to do that really quiet, staring into the camera with a pink eye, not really speaking. But like, this is much better, you know.
Just bullying peeps.
Yeah, just bullying people. What are you doing? Stand up, sit down, wish back. You know, the soup is cold. You know.
It's like Simon says.
Yes.
Sit down. What are you doing? It makes me laugh every week. But this week he didn't do that though.
Nah, he
just draw up Josh Matthews though.
But like, Josh Matthews is so wet. He's always getting beat down on TV. Mind you, it is like by Ryback, and last time it was Brock Lesnar. So, you know, it's not as if he can start fighting back, but he's just so wet. And he's so small. You don't realise.
He's just getting that grip that he did on Ryback did on him, like, that must have hurt his face, man.
Yeah, of course. Like, he had his whole little pea head in his hand.
Man, he should have dashed the mic in his face or something at least. Like, try a thing.
Look at me. Look at me.
What, you want to say something? We're not advocating bullying on there, guys, but obviously it's kayfabe, so, you know, we gotta laugh at it. Again, Shugs come up with a dude who is saving the day.
Well, obviously he had a fight or a match with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, but obviously I don't think that is gonna stop him from bullying, you know. So I don't know. I'm still saying Rey Mysterio, but you know, maybe it's gonna be someone coming up, but it's gotta be someone smaller who's gonna stand up to the bully.
They was talking about it on the Cool Dudes podcast, weren't they? They were saying that they reckon it might be Rey Mysterio, but. Yeah. I mean, who else is there really? You're right. You can't see no one bringing them, you know, anyone up from NXT, really, not yet.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like Justin Gabriel or anyone like that, you know?
No. Maybe it's Darren Young.
Yeah, maybe Darren Young, but I don't...
I'm going to throw my comb in your face, player. Do something. All right. Well, let's go on to segment 9, which was Heyman Backstage. Now, this is your bit we were talking about earlier, with Heyman was bawling his eyes out. His eyes was red. How do you reckon they did this?
I reckon maybe like some vapor rub under the eyes, or like an onion in the face, or maybe someone like kicked him in the nuts. I don't know.
Randy Orton come backstage and poke him in the eye.
But yeah, it was just this is Heyman, like, he's money, you know? Every time he's on the screen, he just, like, you stop what you're doing and you just pay attention to what he's doing. Yeah, you know, and that's what he's just a pro, like, you know.
All right, so we have this now. We have Axel as a Heyman guy. Now we know that Brock Lesnar isn't coming back probably until Royal Rumble to set up some kind of WrestleMania match. We don't know who against yet. So we cannot believe that it's going to be Axel playing the latest Paul Heyman guy up until the Royal Rumble. So who could be the next Paul Heyman guy?
Well, unless he was on NXT, so unless he's bringing up someone from NXT, then I don't know. This is the thing, like, they're going to have somebody who's going to be like a viable opponent for Punk. Someone who's going to stand in the way of CM Punk and stop him from getting his hands on Heyman. And it's not Axel, because he just gets dealt with all the time.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be, I don't think it's anyone off the roster, so it's going to have to be someone they're bringing up.
Yeah. I mean, this is why it makes me think it might be Kassius Ohno. This is, I like someone from his past. This is why I think it might be him, right? Because, right, look, Big E is being taken off the opening sequence of NXT. Obviously, he's on the main roster now.
Yeah.
Kassius Ohno has been taken off the the opening sequence as well.
Maybe it's a work, you know. Maybe all these things that they're releasing and they're saying this and that. Maybe it's just a work because Axel, cause he's getting brought up to the main roster.
I mean, I would be happy for that because that would be wicked, you know. He looks like he could be. He's got the look, you know, for a Paul Heyman guy. He's tall. He's not obviously muscly, but he can do a thing. He reminds me a bit of like what Bradshaw looked like when he first came in.
Yeah.
But Kassius Ohno, that would be a good look. Okay, right. So segment 10, Christian versus Orton. Was this match in the same kind of league as the series of matches they had a couple of years ago when Orton took the title away from Christian?
Yeah, I think it was a really good match. You know, I think that obviously these are two guys who got a good chemistry together, and then they could just go out and without too much planning, just like have a match, and it'll look good. Two good wrestlers, two good workers, and I think it was a good spot for Raw. And this is the thing with Christian, he can have so many good matches with people, but then he's like kind of just like meh, like, doesn't really make you care about him. When he comes back, you're like, yay, Christian's back, and then you just forget about it totally, like. So I think it was a good thing. It made Orton look strong. Christian had plenty of offense. Orton's getting over more as a heel, starting doing like heel tactics in the ring.
Yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. The poke in the eye, that was definitely to cement his heel turn, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because he's not, as soon as he'd done the switch and cashing the Money in the Bank, he wasn't getting cheered anymore. He's just straight into booze, and I think he's just like embracing it now. He looks more interested now. He's a heel.
Yeah. So what's your views on Daniel Bryan backstage, the backstage segment with the car?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was obvious as soon as they had the car in the beginning. It was obvious, but yeah, I thought he was, better on this backstage thing than he was at the beginning.
Okay.
Delivery was good, and he's just like, doing the yes, and he just like, going round the car, showing what he's done to it. I thought it was good.
All right, well, let's go on to, this kind of segued into segment 11, which was Triple H backstage, right? Now, Shugs, just please play my music. Right. This guy is a dick. Triple H is 100% a dick. I don't care what anyone says. This guy's ego is so fucking big. Like, oh, fucking hell. This is about Daniel Bryan, right? Okay, and Randy Orton. It's about them two. Why the fuck do you have to be into everything, right? As usual, it's about him. Listen to this, right? This is what Triple H said. He said this mind on Raw, which means he either said it kayfabe or he wrote this himself. He said, the WWE title is my property and Orton is just holding it for me. What the fuck? It's your property and he is holding it for me. If I was Randy Orton, I would just turn around, coil my tail and just RKO his Ras. That's what I would do. Because to tell me that I am holding the title for you, you're fucking retired, mate. Dick, man. Dick. Sort this shit out, Triple H. In some regards, you're good at what you're doing, and in some regards, you just like your face in the public eye. Too fucking much. You cut your hair, public eye. You come in and doing random matches here and there, public eye. Wear the suit, and done. Anyway. What's your thoughts on Triple H backstage? On that specific thing he said, WWE title is my property and Orton is just holding it for me.
Well, yeah, he was just putting himself over as like the owner. He's like the new Vince McMahon, really. So, he's saying that it's his property and all of it is his, like,
Dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it came across as well as he thought it would, and it's just like squashing everyone else.
It's just pretty much just like, fuck you Randy Orton, fuck you Daniel Bryan. It's mine. Anyway, that's enough of the rant because I might blow a gasket soon, and yeah, I don't really want to be doing that right now. Segment 12, Big Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil!
versus Swagger. So, Sugs, the real Americans, obviously, right, they've done something. They either stole some money from Vince or they punched Steph in the face or something, because these guys are getting buried.
Yeah, I just think that obviously something must have gone on, or, you know, they're still catching some of that Swagger heat, and Cesaro's been brought down with it. But, you know, Cesaro keeps having good matches and keeps being buried. The thing is with Swagger, he just gets buried and doesn't have good matches. But Cesaro keeps, you know, having good matches, and it's getting him nowhere.
Nah, or you obviously seen the NXT match by now, haven't you?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It was a great match, a great match. You know, everyone was going nuts about it, and on like this week's NXT, they even referenced it. You know, that it was blowing up on social media and this and that, and I just think that, you know, the only one is doing all right for Sami Zayn. You know, he seems to be getting the rub off it, and Cesaro keeps having great matches with people and getting no rub for himself.
Yeah. Oh, man. Speaking of this week's NXT, right, you messaged me saying you're a believer. Please tell me please tell me that was a joke.
No, I think that this is the thing. You're supposed to hate him,
No.
and now he's embraced the hate. Like Kane was saying to Cena all those years ago. He's done it. He's embraced the hate. So when people are booing him, and he's like, "No, they're saying Bo." It's great. It's great. It's like Mr. Burns. Are they booing me, Smithers? No, they're saying Burns.
Shit. You was the very first guy to tell me this guy is wet, right?
Yeah, he is wet. This is the thing. But
he's just creepy, man.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're a good kid. He's a good kid."
Oh, that rubbed me up the wrong way, man.
This is the thing, yeah, but that's what he's supposed to be doing.
I
Everyone
know.
boos him, he comes out, he's getting booed out of the building, everyone hates him, and he's just like smiling with that face, and he's just like, "Yeah, all my fans, and like, you know, yeah, you're a good kid, and this and that." It's brilliant. He's got his suit on, his long hair, his Charles and Eddie hair.
Charles and Eddie, oh my god. Would I lie to you, baby? Oh shit, I forgot about them dudes. Yeah, it just shows how old I am, even though I'm not that old. Anyway, and more about NXT. Please tell me you've seen Enzo Amore this week.
Yeah. I think he's good. I think, you know, like, he's showing, you know, he's good talk, he's good on the mic. It's showing that they're producing these people who are ready to come up and just transition. You know,
they turned him babyface.
Yeah, you take your NXT gimmick and you go straight up to the roster. You don't need to change. You know, that's the good thing about it. Do what you did there, and you just do it on. You know, it's like in America, they have the minor leagues and the majors. You know, and you play for the Yankees, but you play for like their like AAA team, and then you get called up to the main roster, and that's the way it should be.
We saw Adrian Neville in the main event against, who was he fighting again? He was fighting Conan O'Brien.
Yeah,
one of the Ascension. Adrian Neville, aka Pac, he is definitely going to be brought up soon, isn't he?
Every time you say Adrian Neville, I just want to just start singing.
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
They need to change that name, man.
I know. But he is definitely coming up soon. I mean, we look at the roster. We've got Adrian Neville. He's ripped. He's good to go. The Ascension, I know they're doing a bit of tweaking, but they're going to be up soon as a tag team, you know, thing. I think Corey Graves, I think they're, you know, I don't know if you don't like Corey Graves, do you?
I think he's okay.
So he might be coming up soon, and I think that's why now they brought in all these new guys to kind of bring these guys up and then replace them with, you know, other guys on NXT. But the future's bright, man. The future's bright, especially with the women's wrestling. Emma. Oh my gosh, Emma, the Emma-lution. Like, she's just too over. She is just too over. And she's going to be up there soon. Summer Rae, I got to give her props, man. She's doing her thing. She's coming across well. as well, as a heel diva. I'm just waiting for her to be part of the Divas properly. But the future's bright.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sorry, let's just go quickly just back to segment 12, which was Titus against Swagger. Did Titus do well in this?
The big deal, Titus O'Neil. I think that, you know, obviously they want to make it look like because Black John Cena came out, and they've had a push ever since. They're not just pushing him, so Titus got a bit of a rub as well, just to make it look like, you know, that they're pushing the primetime players. But, you know, it's strange that everything's changed since he came out, Darren Young.
Yeah, there you go. Darren Young, Black John Cena, big deal, Titus O'Neil, big things popping. Spring back Rufus. All right, segment 13, Bray Wyatt promo. What was your view on this promo? Because obviously we did the Wyatts.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. You know, I think that he's good when he does his promos. Like, he's done them on SmackDown, he's done them on Raw. But, like, I think the recorded promos, the pre-recorded ones, make it look even better. Because the way they've, like, handled, like, all the Wyatt stuff has been really good. And then I think, obviously, they can work with it a bit better when it's, like, a pre-recorded segment. And I thought it was really good, you know? He was doing a bit of singing as well. I just think he needs to have a good opponent. He needs to have someone to go up against.
Yeah, he's the end bit kind of did confuse me a little bit when he's just like, "Oh, I love you, Sister Abigail." Like, obviously she's not a character, but I think maybe is the Sister Abigail his finisher?
That's the name of his finisher.
Okay.
That's why he does the little kiss on the head.
Sister Abigail. Reports have come out on the dirt sheets that he's going to be feuding with Kane when Kane comes back. He's going to be feuding with him at Hell in a Cell, maybe a Hell in a Cell match. So hopefully, you know, they have a better match than they did on SummerSlam. But yeah, I mean, who could be next? Do you think? Who after Kane? Who could he feud with next?
I don't know, because of Kane's gimmick. It's had the Wyatt gimmick. Sorry, it's hard to know who to put him in a feud with, like, you know, who he would work with. But I think he just needs to be, like, terrorizing people, terrorize the roster, you know, like they did with Kane, where, like, they carried him away at the end of SummerSlam. That they should have just be carrying people away on a regular, like, every week, you know.
Yeah.
And then just feud with someone then.
Yeah.
He needs. I think he needs more matches.
Yeah, definitely he needs more matches. He can't just have the one match from pay-per-view, like the pay-per-view matches. Obviously, he came out and had R-Truth last week, but I want to see him in a hard-fought match, like, with no interference, and see what I want. Okay, well, let's go on to the final segment, which was the Bryan Gauntlet match. Again, Bryan and Rollins, they were sick, weren't they?
Yeah, I think, like, these two, like, just perfectly match each other, you know. They're like a match made in heaven, like, because Rollins likes to, like, bump like crazy, and he's got good offense, and then Bryan just, like, goes 100 miles an hour, and, like, you think, like, both of them could just do, like, a 30-minute match, just go in at this pace, and they could just do it, you know. Just go 100 miles an hour, balls to the wall, and just, like, go for it.
I think a 60-minute Iron Man match with them would be so sick. I mean, I would love to see a 60-minute Iron Man match with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Hopefully we get that in the future. I would even love to see that against Cesaro. But the moves these guys were pulling off, like, they gave their all. They gave 100%. I mean, Bryan, what did he do? He did a what was it? A German suplex off the top rope.
Yeah.
And what happened? Rollins over-rotated, didn't he?
He done, like, flipped over, and so he landed on his face.
Jeez. And then Rollins brought up this move I'd never seen him do, like this kind of like front side suplex thing. It was weird, and obviously I love when he kind of jumps up and does that, you know, Enzuigiri Pele kick. But yeah, man, I really hope that he, you know, people do get behind Rawlins a lot more as well, because he is the guy, man. He can definitely wrestle without a shadow of a doubt, and he has elevated himself so much since being NXT champion. Because he was a little bit wet. His character was a little bit wet, but now he's definitely found his character and he's rolling with it.
Yeah. I think it's just harder to be a face.
Yeah. Have you got any words for that fucking camera guy?
Which one?
The camera guy that missed the fucking finish.
Oh yeah, the flying knee, the Busaki knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, well, obviously it's not the camera guy, it's fucking Bryan Dunn or whatever who's in the studio, because they're the ones who flip between all these different cameras.
Oh, Kevin Dunn, yeah.
So, they're filming all the show and he's like telling you which camera to go to. So I'm sure they got filmed, but did they see it on the replay?
No,
so it's just we didn't see the finish at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
so, I think that's somebody probably got their ass fucking handed to them for that. Maybe they had black ref in the in the studio.
Oh god, so somebody got to take the rap. Well, did you feel like the ending had like a attitude era feel to it? We got the ending where Bryan kind of got taken over by Reigns and Ambrose, and then Randy Orton comes out, RKO. You seen the crowd shouting "Big Show." They couldn't do nothing. It kind of had an attitude era feel, didn't it?
Yeah. It was good. Obviously, like, you had everyone coming out and they were all up on the ramp, and like, obviously Renee Young was interviewing them and they wouldn't say anything. Like, she's trying to get mans fired. It's not enough that every time she speaks to someone they get punched in the back of the head. Now she's trying to get people fired. But yeah, I thought it was really good. A good ending,
I got a big up Renee though, because she is everywhere, bruv. She's on every show. She's done well for herself, definitely. They changed her wardrobe as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Changed her wardrobe, so well done. Definitely well done, Renee. Okay, so have you got anything else to add? To Raw?
No, I just thought it wasn't the best show, but then obviously like the good matches. And I think like the storyline kept you going this week,
Mm-hmm.
I think it went through the show, like obviously the bit at the beginning, and then we got Punk early on in the show, but the two main storylines were like weaved into the show, so you had little bits of them, and then the rest was just like filler, really.
Alright, so give me your Raw rating then, please.
I would say 6.5.
6.5. Okay, that's usually our average, so it was an average Raw.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day when we get a 9. Really, can't wait.
It was good as during the show that Los Matadores were trending worldwide on Twitter. I think they're going to be over like when they come.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Do you reckon they're going to wait until after Night of Champions?
Yeah, maybe, because and I like the little clap. So
yeah.
Good. Yeah,
so
it's a good promo. It's a good promo to get them coming.
Because they got 2 promos, didn't they?
Yeah.
So who do you think their first opponents will be? 3MB?
Standard.
It's a no-brainer. Okay, alright, so we got 6.5 from Sugs. So that's the end of Raw, people. And right now, it's time for Smackdown in 60 seconds. So roll with it, Sugs.
Okay, so Miz TV, Miz calls out Big Show and Ziggler. They still won't speak about Triple H, and the game comes out and says about how Orton is good for business, and he makes matches for Miz and Ziggler, and says to Big Show he has to sit at ringside and watch all the matches, so watch everyone get beat down. So Orton against Miz, Miz does quite well until the Shield come down, distract him, and then we get an RKO. And the Shield attacks Miz, but Bryan makes the save with the steel chair. We get Vicky, Bryan, and Ryback, and Vicky says she hates bullies, and Ryback comes out, the big guy, and says to Daniel Bryan, "I'll see you in the ring later, shrimp." We get RVD against Sandow. RVD gets a really quick and a convincing win over Sandow. So obviously when you've got the Money in the Bank briefcase, you don't win any matches. Shield against Ziggler, handicap match. Ziggler puts up a good fight, wrestler gets thrown into the ring post during a tag, and then a spear gets speared out his boots again. Heyman Axel recap, and then a Heyman promo. We get the Wyatts against Tons of Funk. Tons of Funk just get beat down, and then the main event: Bryan Ryback against Daniel Bryan. Some hard kick, suicide dive. Orton comes out to make a distraction, and then we get the Shield beat down. The Big Show gets into the ring, but then Triple H comes out, sends him to the back, and then we get a Big Show crying face, like as if he's gonna cry. And then Orton and Shield beat down Daniel Bryan, and then he spray paints him with no on his chest, loads of heat, and Shield and Orton in the ring, fade to black.
Fade to black. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a really, really good Smackdown. All the matches on there were decent, and you know, it's like they're actually paying attention to the storyline. You know, we're getting more story, we're getting extended stories on Smackdown rather than it just being a Raw recap.
Okay,
yeah.
Well that's wicked, man. They're doing something good, and I'm glad, because this is, if it's going to be a storyline, this is a storyline to kind of do it with. You know, the Punk one and also the Daniel Bryan one. Okay, well, the best segment is coming, because you're about to get stunned with Sugs Stunners.
Okay, so the jobber of the week, I'm gonna go with Damien Sandow, because didn't he lose the tag team match as well?
Yep.
Yeah, he got pinned, and he got pinned again, really quick time by RVD. So obviously he's got the briefcase and he's just jobbing out. Move of the week, I would say it'd be the Roman Reigns spear, because if you watch it on SmackDown, Rollins has got Ziggler up in the air and makes the tag, then throws him into the ring post, and as he bounces off the ring post, Rollins runs into the ring and spears him at the same time. So it's like a really good spot. Okay. And then I'm going to give my wrestler of the week, I'm going to give it to Seth Rollins.
Okay. Wow. Rollins, number one, first one, Rollins. Big up Rollins.
You know, I think obviously he made the match with Daniel Bryan, and I thought last week, you know, where he like soldiered on when he busted his knee up, you know, and stuff like that. And I think, you know, he's working hard. And then you got pussies like Sin Cara who like bent his fingernail, and he's like, no mask, no mask. And he can't wrestle no more. You know, man up, innit? Man up.
Oh my God, I told you people, Sugs is bilingual up in here. No mas, no mas. Speak a little Espanolo. Okay, well, that's the end of the show, people. You know, as always, gotta thank the hashtag tech guy, the goddamn Sugs. You know, gotta thank you, bro.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. It's a pleasure. What else would I be doing this Sunday morning?
Hopefully not taking any bro kicks. You know, hopefully E2J will be back next week. Next week as well. Well, fingers crossed, we should have Beat the Clock, Sugs versus E2J. And we also should have the interview with Mr. Scotty Campbell. This week's, in the words of, is coming from the Road Dog, Jesse James. So, in the words of Road Dog, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X would proudly bring to you his WWF Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dog, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. And if you're not down with that, I got 4 words for you. Choke on that, slap nuts. Peace out, people.